So we have new developments in the Charlie Kirk assassination case. The shooter has been brought to custody and identified as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. Police tied him to the rifle through DNA, and investigators say that he left behind like bullet casings with engravings, little phrases and codes ripped straight from online culture. There's gaming controller combos, there's anti-fascist slogans, there's a meme reference about like furry subculture. And according to investigators, Robinson was deep into these online communities, gaming servers, meme forums, Discord groups. His digital life wasn't just like a side thing, it was like the main bulk of his entire existence. And now, what happens as soon as all this information trickles out about the shooter? It's the same thing that happens every single time. People scramble to claim him to fit their side's narrative. I've already seen the breakdowns on both sides. On the right, it's here's another radical leftist who was indoctrinated by woke ideology and he's out here targeting conservatives. On the left, it's this is what happens when guys like Charlie Kirk are allowed to poison the culture and push rhetoric about their opinions on guns, race, immigration, religion. You kind of create the environment for violence to happen. And that's the reflex. It's immediate. We don't sit with facts anymore. We don't even take a moment to grieve the reality that a man was murdered in cold blood in front of a giant audience in the broad daylight because he had an opinion that was different than another person's. We just rush quickly to plug it into our favorite partisan template. And once again, the tragedy itself gets buried underneath of all this political scorekeeping that we're doing. And that's why I keep saying this whole thing is very dangerous because the instant that we start treating every killing or tragedy as just another branding exercise, left or right, red or blue, we guarantee that we will never learn anything real from the tragedy that happens. We just continue to feed the outrage, drive more division, and set the stage for more state power. And that's a pattern that I've been pointing out all along is it's shock and then that turns into chaos and then that leads into a lot of control. And here's the thing, there's a big piece of this missing that I don't think anyone's really talking much about in the conversation with all this. This wasn't some kid who just woke up and decided to pick a side, pick an ideology. This was a kid who lived pretty much almost entirely online, was raised by these algorithms that these tech platforms that he was living on. The rifle that he carried had meme stamped on the bullets. Like that tells you, I think, everything you need to know about who this person was. His identity was not just sculpted by an ideology, but by the echo chambers that he ended up getting sucked in. It doesn't matter if it was left or right, because that's how these feeds work. It doesn't just show you content; it funnels you. You click on one clip that maybe outrages you or you don't necessarily like, and it feeds that, and suddenly your homepage is nothing but more of the same outrage, more of the same clips that prove your side is right. And the feed makes politics into a sport and it makes you the fanatic. And it keeps you living in that same echo chamber because you only see things that align with that. You don't see anything that challenges you. Or just the things that make you more angry and more certain that your beliefs are right. And that's how a kid like this ends up getting obsessed with Charlie Kirk, is because the whole algorithm just kept feeding him more things like that and a lot of content about Charlie Kirk. And the fixation just became like this kid's like entire world is what I'm reading into this, at least. And it's more than just like the content you see too. There's other pieces, like it's how the platforms keep you hooked in general of getting on that on these platforms. The infinite scrolls, autoplays, you get notifications for these apps that suck you right back in. And these platforms are built not to just like check in every now and then, they're built for you to live on them. The outrage diet is not optional, it's addictive. And the longer that you're in it, the harder it is to truly disconnect and gain some perspective to things. And disconnecting matters. Like people say like touch grass like it's a joke or it's an insult. Like that's a reality. Like that's almost survival. Like, but you spend every waking moment online, like your brain is going to be trained to crave the next escalation, the next dopamine hit. And the line between scrolling and acting starts to blur almost completely. And then there's another piece to these platforms too, like the sensitization. Like you see all these like violent things, and it's like spun as like entertainment. And then you stop being like shocked to these things that are supposed to like shock you, and you just get numb to them, and you get desensitized to them. And like these things that would be unthinkable start looking more of just like things that are inevitable. And when you've been fed a whole narrative that says the other side is evil, that numbness becomes really dangerous. So, yeah, we can and we should still debate ideology. We can debate people's rhetoric. We can debate guns. And I'm not saying we need to dismiss that. But if we keep ignoring this environment that we ourselves are also helping create to manufacture these types of people, this type of generation, the digital like centrifuge that spins completely until the only thing that you have left is like the most extreme stuff that you're seeing. If we continue to keep ignoring that, then we're going to just keep lying to ourselves. We're going to pretend that the problem is just their side when the problem is the entire system that makes sides out of everyone. And that's what scares me the most. Not who this kid voted for, not what hashtags he was posting, but the fact that we're raising a whole society of people that are starting to live inside a machine that profits when they fall apart, that profits off of this outrage, off of this anger. And unless we confront that, the next person is being built as we speak. The next Tyler Robinson is already out there being groomed by this feed, this online just cesspool that keeps us hooked and keeps us outraged and keeps us divided.